Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Tuesday, January 30th, and we are here to look at the new books that are released into the wild each week. And each day of the week, we look at a different genre. On Mondays, we look at cozy mysteries. On Tuesdays, we look at regular mysteries. Wednesdays, we look at romance. Thursday, it is fantasy science fiction. And then Friday, it is just a catch all of what else we are interested in. And quite often, there are so many cozy mysteries. We look at some more cozy mysteries. All right. I hope you are having a good Tuesday. Thank you for watching. If you're watching it live, thank you so much. If you're watching it later because you're just not a morning person, that's okay. We appreciate you too. Thank you so much. Please hit the like button. Congratulations to you guys. We hit 200 subscribers. So slowly but surely, go ahead, tell friends about us. If you have book lover friends, let them know about our sprints, and let's just grow. Speaking of sprints, we have sprints tonight at 6:05 Mountain Time, 8:05 Eastern. They'll go for 2.5 hours. I do that every Tuesday and Thursday evening and Saturday afternoons starting at 1 Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern, and those go for 5 hours. Good morning, Kim. How you doing? Hi, Anita. How are you? Good morning. We are going to be jumping into regular mysteries that are being released today or this week. Let me get rid of that banner. And I think we will work our way. I have several tabs open. I think I'll work my way from right to left, just to be different. All right, first up, The Mountain King by Anders Delamotte. First in the Asker series. It says internationally best-selling author. Perfect for the fans of the Nordic thrillers by Joe Nesbo and Stieg Larsson. Follows an overachieving female inspector investigating the darkest side of humanity from one of Sweden's most talented crime fiction authors. Cool. Criminal Inspector Leonor Asker seems to have the leading position at Malmo's major crime division within reach. But things go awry when, in the middle of a high-profile kidnapping case, management relegates her to the so-called Department of Lost Souls, the unit for odd cold cases banished to the basement of the police station. You got me interested. Cold cases. That's one of my triggers. Love them. Despite the humiliation, Asker is drawn into one of the more peculiar cases. Someone is placing small, ominous figures in town, and one of them seems to represent the missing woman from the kidnapping case. As Asker's investigation takes her to abandoned buildings, she reaches out to a local architecture expert, and together they explore the sinister recesses of the city and discover that an unusual kind of evil lurks in the shadows. You know how you have trigger things that immediately make you go yes or no? Like for me, vampires, absolutely no. Cold cases, yes. Almost Surely Dead. Now I have this one as a Kindle First option that was offered early at the beginning of the month. I haven't read it yet. Almost Surely Dead by Amina Akhtar. Psychological thriller that's part stalker thriller, part ghost story. Okay. Dunya Ahmed lives an ordinary life, or she definitely used to. Now she's the subject of a true crime podcast. She's been missing for over a year, and no one knows if she's dead or alive. But her story has listeners obsessed, and people everywhere are sporting merch that demands, "Find Dunya!" In the days before her disappearance, Dunya is a successful pharmacist living in New York. The daughter of Pakistani immigrants, she's coping with a broken engagement and the death of her mother. But then something happens that really shakes up her world. Someone tries to murder her. When her would-be killer winds up dead, Dunya figures the worst part is over. But then there's another attempt on her life, and another. And police suspect someone close to her may be the culprit. Dunya struggles to make sense of what's happening, and as childhood superstitions seep into her reality, she becomes convinced that someone or something is truly after her. Um, Looks like the publisher is it's like a not quite a vanity publisher, but isn't she an actress? Mindy Kaling is has published this. And if you're looking for a book with a pink cover for the Cozy Mysteries Scavenger Hunt, that would be an option to check out. Last Night by Luann Rice. Another thriller, a breathtaking thriller about a family shaken by lies, vengeance, and a cold-blooded crime. A fierce blizzard is burying the eastern seaboard, but on the icy Rhode Island shore, renowned artist Maddie Morrison finds warm sanctuary from a contentious divorce at the legendary Ocean House. Hours later, her body is found buried under a blanket of snow, and her little daughter Cece has disappeared without a trace. For Detective Connor Reed, his brother Tom, a Coast Guard commander, and Maddie's grieving sister Hadley, the posh hotel seems ground zero for an investigation. Trapped by the blizzard, they must hunker down and determine who is in the young mother's life could have possibly wanted her dead. There are stories of a twisted romantic past, of old jealousies and resentments that still cut to the bone, and a history of greed, rage, and revenge that created the perfect storm for murder, a storm that has just begun. Dot, 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 dot. Of Hoaxes and Homicide. This is historical. Huzzah! And I have not read this first one of this series. This is the second by Anastasia Hastings in the Dear Miss Hermione mysteries. Dear Miss Hermione, what is a mother to do? Sensible Violet Manville and her very ladylike half-sister Sephora are absolutely bored, thank you very much. Though neither of them would ever admit it out loud, they're missing the thrill of playing detective. So when Violet receives a letter from a heartbroken mother sent to her alter ego, the agony aunt, known to the world only as Miss Hermione, her pulse can't help but quicken. The daughter in question has gotten caught up in a cult, the Hermetic Order of the Children of Aid. Rumors of human sacrifices, mystical doings, and a ghost in the ruined Alburn Abbey where the children pray have gripped the public consciousness, helped along by a series of novels about the group, written by the mysterious Count Orlando, and clearly this girl has fallen prey. Miss Hermione's investigation soon collides with very real life when Violet discovers a surprising connection to the cult. With the dashing but frustrating Eli Marsh turning up and a member of the Children Poisoned, Violet and Sephora, along with their ever-trusty housekeeper Bunty, may have more intrigue than they can manage. Missing Persons, James Patterson with Adam Hemdy. In Afghanistan, a U.S. pilot is shot down during a covert mission. In New York, a mother is forced to flee with her two young children. Finding the connection between the two will lead the private team right into a deadly trap. This is 16th in the Private Team series. A wealthy businessman approaches Jack Morgan, head of Private, the world's largest investigation agencies. Well, that's a good name. We're private. No, you can tell me. No, we're private. I'm telling you, we're private. With a desperate plea to track down his daughter and two grandchildren who have disappeared without a trace. What at first seems to be a simple missing persons case soon escalates into something much more deadly when Jack discovers the daughter is being pursued by highly trained operatives. As Jack uncovers more of the woman's backstory, the trail leads towards Afghanistan, where Jack's career as a U.S. Marine ended in catastrophe. Jack will need to face the trauma of his past to save a family's future. The Millionaire, a Maureen Gould legal thriller. I like legal thrillers. Let's face it, I like books, just not ones with vampires in them. Is Truth for Sale? The millionaire is in jail on a murder charge. Violent inmates beat him savagely, trying to extort money. To save his life, Maureen Gold must find the truth and free her client. When Maureen Gold's former client, Tony Paredes, known as the millionaire, is accused of killing his abuser, she believes he's innocent. But the authorities don't care. They throw him into jail with violent criminals who almost beat him to death to extort money he doesn't have. As he recovers in the hospital, Maureen must find the evidence that will convince a jury to acquit him. If he goes back, the next beating will surely kill him. It's a sequel to Implied Consent. If you like powerful and authentic women heroes, you'll like this one. All right. Wander in the Dark by Jumata Emil. Oh, this looks like a middle grade. Kind of dark for a middle grade. Two brothers must come together to solve the murder of the most popular girl in school after one of them is caught fleeing the scene of her death. Amir Trudeau only goes to his half brother Marcel's birthday party because of Chloe Danvers. Chloe is rich and hot and fits right into the perfect life Marcel inherited when their father left Amir's mother to start a new family with Marcel's mom. But Chloe is hot enough for Amir to forget that for one night. Does she want to hook up, or is she trying to meddle in the estranged brother's messy family drama? Amir can't tell. He doesn't know what Chloe wants from him when, in the final hours of Mardi Gras, if you want something seasonal, she asks him to take her home and stay. Her parents are away and she doesn't want to be alone. Amir never finds out because when he wakes up, Chloe is dead, stabbed while he was passed out on a couch. And in no time, Amir becomes the only suspect. A black teenager caught fleeing the scene of a rich white girl's murder. All of New Orleans agrees the case is open and shut. Amir is innocent. He has a lawyer, but unless someone can figure out who really killed Chloe, things don't look good for him. His number one ally, Marcel. Their relationship is messy, but Marcel knows that Amir isn't a murderer, and maybe proving his innocence will repair the rift between them. Maybe not middle grade, but maybe more high schoolish, college-ish. The Royal Game by Linda Keir. American pop singer Jenny Jensen is ready to marry the love of her life, England's Prince Hugh, but someone is determined to keep her from becoming a princess any way they can. To give her fairy tale a happy ending, she'll have to play the royal game. Sorry, coffee's required. Jenny Jensen is touring Europe, already living her dream, when Prince Hugh of Wales, the future King of England, appears at a gig and requests his favorite song. He's already smitten, and soon so is she. After a secretive whirlwind romance, Hugh proposes, and when Jenny accepts, her world changes overnight. She's still learning to navigate the minefield of constant scrutiny, barbed social interactions, and royal protocol. There are rules about pantyhose, as she learns that not everyone in England is excited about the prospect of an American princess. When Jenny receives a threatening note, she can't help but see the parallels between herself and another young woman who struggled to adjust to royal life. Hugh's mother, Princess Penelope, oh my god, this is just, who was killed in a mysterious plane crash. And as the threat to Jenny grows more serious, she digs into Penelope's past, discovering a woman who also suspected someone in the palace was out to get her. Was Penelope murdered, and is Jenny next? With the eyes of a nation on her as the royal wedding approaches, she's in a race against time to save her marriage and her own life. I wish authors would try a little harder sometimes. That has a very 70s cover to me, but I like it. The Disappearance of Astrid Bricard by Natasha Lester. Vogue meets Daisy Jones and the Six. Everyone remembers her daringly short silver lame dress. It was an iconic photo capturing an electric moment when emerging American designer Astrid Bricard is young, uninhibited, and on the cusp of fashion and feminism's changing landscape. She and fellow designer Hawk Jones are all over Vogue magazine and New York's disco scene, yet she can't escape the shadow of her mother, Misa Bricard, infamous muse for Christian Dior. Astrid would give anything to take her place among the great houses of couture on her own terms. I won't inspire it when I can create it. And then Astrid disappeared. Now Astrid's daughter, Blythe, holds what remains of her mother and grandmother's legacies. Of all the Bricard women, she can gather the torn, painfully beautiful fabrics of 3 generations of heartbreak to create something that will shake the foundations of fashion. The only piece missing is the one question no one's been able to answer. What really happened to Astrid? Yeah, me too. I wasn't very subtle. I just think authors should try harder. It's more like fan fiction. A suspenseful and entertaining debut thriller, Midnight on Beacon Street by Emily Ruth Verona. October 1993. One night, one house, one dead body. When single mom Eleanor Mazinski goes out for a much needed date night, she leaves her 2 young children, sweet, innocent 6-year-old Ben and precocious, defiant 12-year-old Mira, in the capable hands of their sitter, Amy. The quiet 17-year-old is good at looking after children despite her anxiety disorder. She also loves movies, especially horror flicks, and Amy likes their predictability. It calms the panic that threatens to overwhelm her. The evening starts out normally enough with games, pizza, and dancing, but as darkness falls, events in this quaint suburban New Jersey house take a terrifying turn. Unexpected visitors at the door, mysterious phone calls, and by midnight, little Ben is in the kitchen, standing in a pool of blood with a dead body at his feet. This is a debut novel. I don't know. Kid Jeopardy, Kid Jep, not exactly my thing, but if you like horror movies and kind of want that Scream kind of feel to me, it seems. Check it out. The Excitements by C.J. Ray. About 2 brave female World War II veterans who survived the unthinkable without ever losing their killer instinct or their joie de vivre. Meet the Williamson sisters, Britain's most treasured World War II veterans. Now in their late 90s, Josephine and Penny are in huge demand, popping up at commemorative events and history festivals all over the country. Despite their age, they're still in great form, perfectly put together, sprightly and sparky, and always in search of their next excitement. This time, it's a trip to Paris to receive the Légion d'honneur for their part in the liberation of France. And as always, they will be accompanied by their devoted great nephew, Archie. Keen historian Archie has always been given to understand that his great aunts had relatively minor roles in the Women's Royal Navy and the first aid nursing yeomanry, but that's only half the story. Both sisters are hiding far more than the usual official secrets. There's a reason sweet Auntie Penny can dispatch a would-be mugger with an umbrella. The trip to Paris is not what it seems either. Scandal and crime have always quietly trailed the Williamson sisters, even in the decades after the war. Now armed with new information about an old adversary, these much decorated but admittedly ancient veterans variously intend to settle scores, avenge lost friends, and pull off one last daring heist before the curtain finally comes down on their illustrious careers. That sounds kind of cute. Me too. I love the Royals. Me too. But that will not be going on my TBR. No. Let's see. That is the last of my tabs. We've got a couple more minutes. Let's see if we can put my aside. Let's see if we can spot a couple more that might not be here. We're just kind of scanning for, and we're just gonna, now this site, this is freshfiction.com, is not necessarily, just like the other ones, true for being released this week, but Like this one, I'm sure that one came out earlier. And sometimes it's even like the paperback came out this from a from a year ago. It does say great. It does say. Well, why isn't it on everybody's list? 'Cause that's a big author. I'm confused. That one's a huge one. We'll go here. As far as I can tell, this is a new release. Oh, 2023. Duh. My brain hasn't computed to 24. So that one is probably like a paperback release of last year's hardcover. Oh, by the way, I finished Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I finished my first Brandon Sanderson after trying forever. I liked it. It was like a 4 star. Ooh, historical. Mission Churchill by Alex Abella. It's Kindle Unlimited. In 1933 Cuba, a deadly game of cat and mouse unfolds. An IRA sharpshooter, driven by vengeance and a relentless mission, has Winston Churchill in his crosshairs. But just as the assassin is about to strike, Churchill's tenacious bodyguard, Walter Thompson, intervenes, forcing the killer into the shadows. Years later, amid the fiery reign of the German Blitz on London, Thompson locks eyes with a ghost from Havana, the very same assassin. But now the stakes are higher. As Thompson dives deeper into the city's underworld, he uncovers a chilling conspiracy within the British government, threatening to topple Churchill and hand victory to Hitler. Racing against time amidst the backdrop of a city in chaos, Thompson must decipher the twisted web of treachery to save his nation and the man he's sworn to protect. But at what cost? That sounds cool. I like it. And it's unlimited. Well, the bell has sounded. We are out of time. Yeah, the excitement sounds good too. I like those. So we have like a couple. That is one that we are just on is freshfiction.com. No crazy spellings on it, just freshfiction.com. All right, say. That's a little too loud. We'll take that out. So I've got a couple, two, three that I'm interested in from there. So that's always a positive. That's why we do it. We are Bookie Monsters. We are constantly on the look for new books, new authors, new series. We're like sharks, constantly on the move, looking to devour books. I hope you guys have a good Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching. We do have sprints tonight at 6:05 Mountain Time, 8:05 Eastern. They'll go for 2.5 hours. Sometimes I start a little earlier, but I'm racing home from work and have to take Keo for a spin around the block when I get home. So just to give myself a little extra space because you never know what traffic and weather is going to be doing, I say I start at 6:05, but it could start a few minutes early. So be on the lookout. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when it. Of course, it's always a little bit late, but it helps. So come tonight, bring a book, work on a project. Just close your eyes after a hard day. Uh, that's time for you. In the meantime, as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom, nom, nom. Have a good day. God bless.